Hi, everyone. This is your girl, Nikita, and welcome to the Perfectly Powerful You podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Perfectly Powerfully You podcast. I'm your host, Nikita, and I trust, hope, and expect that you all are having a super wonderful and passionate, vibrant day. I'm having a wonderful day. I have my tea with me, smoothie beside me, and I'm ready to go for another episode of Perfectly Powerfully You podcast. Today, I am super inspired by many of the comments actually that I've been receiving and conversations that I've been in regarding my, mental health and my jovial and or happy demeanor that I have in many of the interactions and most of the day that I go about just enjoying my life. Many of the people that I've been interacting with and many of the comments that I've been seeing often have to do with Nikita, you're so sunshiny, you're just a ray of positivity. How do you do it? And I've absolutely touched base in this in many of my other episodes. So check back with those if you would love even more sunshiny tips and tricks on how you can develop and grow and strengthen the joy and love that is already within you. And for today's podcast, I'd love to elaborate on some of the new ways that I've been strengthening that positivity muscle and the ways in which I navigate the not so sunshiny circumstances and or experiences that I have on any given day. So let's get started without further ado on being able to navigate any of the circumstances that you might be currently experiencing, no matter how long they've been in your life, no matter what challenges you may be facing and how big they may seem. Many of the tips and tricks that I'm going to be giving you do help me and have helped me grow and strengthen the gratitude that I already have and also the ways in which I often navigate maybe not preferred content that may constrict or block the flow of the love and joy and happiness that we are all deserving of feeling. So, if this sounds awesome to you, keep on listening, and may all of this bring you, or some of the ones that resonate with you, bring you even more clarity on how you can be the most powerful asset and authority in your life. So, the first step that I often recommend my clients when I'm working with them in my coaching is to notice what you're noticing. This may not come as a surprise for those of you who are active listeners and longtime listeners, that noticing what you're noticing is a powerful tool that I always recommend because it becomes a very powerful tool for being a conscious authority and conscious advocate for your mental health and the ways in which that you can change your thinking. Your thinking and your feeling are directly connected. It's like a highway of thoughts and images that your brain is conjuring and the highway of feeling tone that your body's language is, which is the feeling tone. So noticing what you're noticing is the first step. And oftentimes you might feel not as skillful in this aspect if you're not fully and consciously aware of what's been going on in that big old beautiful brain of yours. I find that when I've developed my own mindfulness practice, i.e., sitting down and journaling, or just taking time to pause throughout my day, and coupling that with a meditation practice. This, these tools rather, and these practices of slowing down, of taking a breath, of developing a practice of mindfulness, it's not just a one and done. It's something that allows you to notice what you're noticing. So you can notice, for example, your feet in your shoes or the breath that is coming out of your mouth or the air on your skin, or maybe the clothes that you're wearing. This can be a first step in being able to recognize that you can notice what you're noticing. And then you can use this tool of noticing what you're noticing to notice your thoughts and how your thoughts affect how you're feeling. Are some of the thoughts that you've been thinking feel constrictive? It feels maybe like butterflies in your stomach, or anxiety, or maybe some doubt or fear. So are you can notice what you're noticing again and ask yourself this question: what am I noticing right now in my thoughts? And how are these thoughts affecting my physiology? Noticing what you're noticing is going to be the first most important step. Prior to noticing what you're noticing is just pausing when you're feeling this feeling of constriction. But, or rather, and when you're noticing what you're noticing, you're able to more effectively move into these next steps. And the next step that I'm going to offer is going to be grounding yourself, or what I love to call in my coaching, generating state. Generating state is again another skill that you can build. This reminds you that no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, no matter what's going on around you, you are the highest authority of your personal well being. You can think what you can think, and you can feel what you can feel. By saying, for example, that a circumstance or situation made you feel this way, i.e., I looked at my bank account and I felt constriction, or this person said something and I felt they made me feel anger. They made me feel doubt. They made me feel et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Insert whatever you would love. So as soon as you say, that made me, i.e., you're putting your power outside of yourself, generating state puts the power right back into your own hands. And this is a powerful tool that, again, you continue to practice and develop. Generating state is a breathing technique, and also a body feeling technique, and a mind body connection technique that you can use coupled with pausing, noticing what you're noticing, and then generating your own state. I oftentimes, when I'm feeling constriction, when I'm feeling anxiety, when I'm feeling worry or doubt, or I can't do this, or this is too much, or I feel overwhelmed right now, I pause, notice what I'm noticing, generate my own state. Because again, brings the power back right into you. When I'm doing this, the first thing I start off with, sometimes it changes, but most of the time I start off like this. I just let out a big old sigh and I take a good deep belly breath in through my nose, and sometimes I just sigh it out again in through your belly, or in deeply into your belly. And then I often hum it right into my vagus nerve. This helps reset your nervous system. Your vagus nerve is very powerful, and you can use this prior to and in conjunction with this next breathing technique, which is in through your nose and out through your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. So when I'm generating state, the first thing I do, if I feel like it's necessary, is take a big deep sigh and just out of my belly. So, and then I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm just grounded now. I'm not feeling so fight or flighty. And then maybe I'll do a Mm, if you can hear this, it's deep in my throat, and it's a hum in my chest. And I might do this about 2 or 3 times depending on how well or how much I feel like I need it in any given or particular moment. And then what I do is, again, in through my nose, out through my mouth like I'm blowing through a straw. Now, the blowing through a straw part is very important, because in through your nose and out through your mouth, you can be doing that while you're running. And running often puts us in fight or flight. So when you're blowing through a straw, your mouth is like perched, and you can't do that while you're running. So it signals physiologically to your body that you're safe, that you're transforming your body from fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous system, into your rest and digest, your parasympathetic nervous system. So, generating state is a very active process that you can do anytime you're feeling any sort of constriction. It helps ground you back from sympathetic fight or flight, i.e., your the thoughts that are kind of running without your conscious control. And it's just patterns that you've developed in the background of your subconscious into consciousness, parasympathetic, rest and digest. And this becomes your creative thinking, where you take back control and you tell your body, this is how I'm choosing to feel in this moment, regardless of circumstance, regardless of what's going on. Bring back the power right to you. All right. So now that you've paused, now that you've noticed what you're noticing, and now that you've learned how to generate your state, you're in your vision making, creativity, rest and digest. You're in your most powerful conscious state of generating state. So once I'm done generating state, I move into what I'm grateful for and what I am proud of. Often and most times in alignment with the vision that I'm working for, the vision that I'm working with for my 3-year vision or my 1-year vision that brings me life. If I knew everything's working out and I know that everything's working out in my favor, even when it doesn't necessarily look like it, I know that everything's working out for me regardless. So I bring to mind something I'm grateful for that's a part of the vision that I'm consciously working with. And I often work with my clients with this, that I help them develop a vision for the life that they'd love living. And I would love to have a side note here that your body is very objective. It has no idea what's going on right in front of you, what happened 10 years ago, or what's going to happen 3 years in the future. If you can think it and you can feel it, your body says it must be happening right now. So that's why when I'm working with my clients, we have a structured vision that they can bring to mind anytime they're feeling constriction. And this is how I work with myself as well when I'm feeling anxiety or guilt or jealousy or constriction or fear in any way. I bring to mind my vision once I've generated my state, and I bring to mind what I'm grateful for and what I'm proud of. Gratitude is in alignment with abundance. When you're feeling grateful for something, it tells the universe and your energy that you're generating that you have something, that you've been gifted something, that there's something in your life. It's the opposite of lack. When you're feeling constriction, or fear or doubt, it's because you put yourself apart from the abundance that's all around us every single moment of every single day. So, gratitude, you often feel gratitude when you've been given something. If someone gives you a compliment, you're like, wow, I'm so grateful that you gave me such a beautiful compliment. Thank you. When someone gives you a gift, you say, wow, thank you. I'm so grateful that I have this beautiful gift. Or when you have someone beautiful in your life, like your family or your friends, you're grateful for them because they're in your life. Gratitude is the highest form of love and energy that you can transmit. So when I'm finished, or rather in the process of generating my state, I help amplify this with what am I grateful for in this moment? It could be I'm grateful for feeling the sun on my face. I'm grateful that I'm mobile and I can walk. Maybe I'm out for a walk and I'm just grateful for being able to hear the birds. I'm grateful that I'm mobile and flexible and I have the ability to move freely in my body. I might be grateful that I woke up today. I might be grateful for something that happened a few years ago. Maybe I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity to continue to endeavor to live the life that I love. Whatever feels like it's calling me in that moment, I bring to mind something that's in alignment with my vision. And I truly um I ask myself to feel this very palpably, very deeply, that I can bring to mind an image of what am I grateful for in this moment right now? And then allow my body to receive the gratitude. Because I could say, I'm grateful for this cup of coffee, but you can feel in my voice that I don't genuinely feel, or rather, I haven't allowed myself to feel this sense of gratitude. But when I say, man, I'm so grateful that I'm alive today. I'm grateful that my mom is here and supporting me. I'm grateful for all the money I do have because I've been able to easily invest in food that helps nourish my body. I'm so grateful for this. And then we want to amplify this feeling of gratitude with a proud of. And this is how I amplify my energy. Being proud of something, especially again, when we're working with our vision for the life that we'd love to live, and we're endeavoring to step into that every single day. Your choices are your own. Your decisions are your own. And when I say that they're a choice, every single move that you make in this life, in every moment you're making a decision for or against a life that you'd love to live. And when you're proud of yourself, you're telling yourself, this is a choice. I don't have to do any of this. I don't have to wake up and go to work. I don't have to brush my teeth, but I choose to because I love my oral hygiene. I don't have to smile and I don't have to say a compliment to someone because it feels good. I don't have to put on clothes. I don't have to do any of this. But when we're working with a vision and we bring to mind something we're grateful for, I'm so grateful that I get to live this life and endeavor to live the life that I'd love. And I'm proud of myself for taking whatever action step you took. Maybe it was just showing up to work. Maybe it was just getting dressed and out of your PJs, but that was your choice. And when you tell yourself, I am so proud of myself for doing this because maybe there was a part of you that didn't want to. Maybe there was a part of you that was about to not to, and you took that step anyways. That puts the power again right back into your own hands. And that proud of says, I chose to, and I didn't have to. But I'm proud of myself for making that choice because I know it's benefiting my life. And no, it doesn't have to be big. No, it doesn't have to be magnificent, but you still did it. And that's why I also remind myself that when I'm endeavoring to live the life I love, that sometimes it can be very easy to forget that every single decision that I've been making in every moment of my life for my vision is actually a choice. And when I celebrate myself and say, oh my gosh, I got dressed, I did something like put on makeup that I feel so vibrant, I feel so pretty, I feel like I did something for me and I'm proud of this. At the level of fact, I made a domain name. I purchased that and I said, Nikki, that's a step in the direction of furthering your business. Celebrate yourself for this. I'm so proud of you, Nikki, for doing this because you didn't have to. You didn't have to take any of these steps, but I did. And I want to celebrate that win because every time I do, I feel great. And the more I feel great, the more I tune my body to say, hey, it's safe to feel okay. It's actually safe to feel vibrant. It's safe to feel gratitude. And the more I do that, and the more that you do that, it becomes something that you consciously wire your brain to start doing automatically because it's a pattern of thinking to feel doubt. It's a pattern of thinking to feel worry. It's a pattern of thinking to think of all the things of why it's not going well for you. But when you pause, when you notice what you're noticing and noticing how your thoughts affect your feelings, when you choose to consciously generate your state, when you consciously allow yourself to be filled up to the brim and overflowing with gratitude, when you consciously bring and amplify that gratitude with something you're proud of, this all becomes automatic. You build that muscle of changing and tuning your body to celebrating all of the wins in your life. This may seem like a lot of steps in the very beginning, but the more you do this, the more instantaneous it becomes. You start to notice when you're feeling constriction, just maybe in your conversations that you're having, maybe as you're walking down the street, maybe as you're in your work life or in your own home. You'll notice that you'll start to pause, notice what you're noticing. You'll learn how to in through your nose, out through your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. Turn on your gratitude, amplify it with proud of, and then move on. And then you'll notice that you'll keep doing it faster and faster and even more skillfully. And I'll recommend, if you want to make this even more of a powerful practice for yourself, to have even more joy and happiness and love in your life at the drop of a hat, write it down. Celebrate yourself in a journal. Make it something very apparent for yourself that you're actively doing this, and notice what happens in your life as well. Notice how things just start to get better for you, and notice that it just becomes an even greater practice in your life, because I'll remind you again that 99% of our life is unconscious, which means that oftentimes when we're going about our day to day life, we're not actually consciously thinking about anything that we're thinking about. Which means that oftentimes when you're producing certain results in your life, it's because oftentimes it's run in the background of your brain. These are patterns that you've already told yourself to continue to repeat. Then, when we become conscious of noticing what we're noticing, what thoughts am I thinking? How are they affecting my physiology? Oh, right. Actually, I can change what I'm thinking. I can change how I'm feeling. And then I feel better. Again, regardless of what's going on. Again, regardless of circumstance. Again, regardless of the conversation that you just had. Everything is just a matter of your perspective. And in alignment with perspective, I'd love to also offer you some questions that you can ask yourself to help produce even greater results in your life. Sometimes I love to just ponder with myself when there's a certain, I'll say, situation or circumstance or something that's happening in my life that I feel is really big. I'm like, this is bad. I need to fix this. And I'm not having a good time. And why is this happening to me? Again, pausing, noticing what I'm noticing and saying, "Okay, no problem. Great job, Nikki." Patting myself on the back for just giving myself a break, because I'm the only one in my head that's perpetuating and torturing myself with all the what ifs and whys and this is no good, and just recognizing that my imagination is my control. Your imagination is totally your control. But asking yourself, "Okay, what's actually going on here? Is there a lesson that can be learned from this? Okay, no, this wasn't preferred, but is there an alternative perspective that I can have on this that I can just feel better about? Is there a step I can take to serve my dream?" Because oftentimes there is something that you can do to change your circumstance, situation, or condition. I would often offer this to you, that generate your state first. Be in a place of gratitude and being proud of yourself first. Because when you're asking yourself, what action step can I take today to move me in the direction of my dream that feels alive? If we're in a place of constriction, if we're in a place of this isn't working out for me, I don't know how, I'm feeling a little bit of fear or doubt or anxiety, we're going to get the same results that we've been getting up until now. And again, it's because sympathetic nervous system wise is unconscious, meaning patterns you've already programmed yourself to be thinking, which are often scarcity thoughts. However, on the flip side, when we generate our state, we come from a feeling of our vision. Everything's working out for me. I'm so grateful that things are actually the best in my life as they can be. And you put on that feeling, you changed your energy and your physiology and your nervous system. You went from nervous system fight or flight to nervous system parasympathetic rest and digest, creation, vision, reception of something greater than what's possible for you right now. So when you generate your state and you're in a state of gratitude and that everything is possible for you, you ask that question: what is a step I can take to move me in the direction of my dream? Because you will get different answers. Answers that feel enlightening. It might even be a thought. It might not be a full action. It might be call this person, text this person, maybe go on this website. Maybe it's just a feeling of vibrancy. Maybe it's a feeling of go here, do this, rest and do it. Take that action because what you're doing is you're pausing, noticing what you're noticing, generating your state, asking that question, and you take it. That is a full loop of awesomeness. What that is doing is serving your energy. A quote from Mary Morrissey says that inspiration without action is mere entertainment. And we don't want to just be entertained in life. We want the results in our life that reflect the vision and beauty and love and abundance that we are deserving of. But if we're generating our state and asking the question, what is an action step I can take to serve my vision? And you don't serve it, you're going to keep getting the same results you've been getting in your life that you may not prefer. But the action step, I'll remind you, does not have to be big. And it doesn't have to be logical either. Sometimes it's just take a different route to work. Sometimes it's you're thinking that you need to push, 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 but really your inspired idea is go out, go to games night, because you might meet someone that might put you on a completely different path that you never thought possible. But when you are in that receptivity mode, you're in that state generating mode, you're in that creation mode, everything is possible in that state. And when you take action, inspired action from that state, everything moves in your favor. And I will repeat this again because your state is so powerful, your energy is so powerful. And so, how I often have even more vibrancy and aliveness, and why people say, "Nikki, you're so sunshiny. How do you do it?" That's how I do it. I remind myself about my power. I remind myself about who's actually in control of my imagination and my thoughts. I remind myself about who's actually in control of my feeling state and the action steps I can take that are inspired and are empowered and are mine to decide for. I remind myself as often as I can because when I go unconscious and I start to feel constriction, when I start to say, this is happening to me, that this isn't working out in my favor, that that person made me feel this way, I give away my power. And I did that for a long time. And sometimes I still do that because I'm human. So when you're noticing that, hey, man, I've been feeling a little constricted lately. Actually, I haven't been feeling very vibrant. Actually, I'm not feeling fulfilled in life. Know that that's actually a choice to not feel fulfilled. It's a choice to not feel vibrant. It's a choice to not do anything about it. But I'll also remind you that you've got people on your team, you've got people on your side. And if you want someone to help you out, I coach people to do this, to have a team member who's rooting you on, who's reminding you about exactly where your power is. And if you'd love to have a free strategy session with me, I have offered this to you guys many times before, and I'll continue to offer it to you. That when we understand where we're at, we look to our longing and our discontent, and then create a vision for the life that you'd love living, I help you serve that. So if you'd love to have some help because you're curious about what's actually going on in your life, where are you at right now? Where would you love to be? And you'd love to bridge that gap from not feeling very fulfilled or inspired or enlightened to loving your life every single day. If that sounds like something you'd love to do, I would highly recommend booking a session with me because it's the first step to take in living a life you'd really love to live. And every time I do this with people, I get even more inspired, they get even more inspired, and just magic happens. And last 2 points before I end this beautiful podcast with you is surrender and release. Oftentimes, up until now, I found myself to be very white knuckling life, that I had to control everything. That if things weren't going perfectly the way that I wanted to, then I found that I was honestly putting myself in a lot of constriction. I was blocking the flow of all the good that wanted to come to me because I was too in control of the situation. And so, one of the ways that I've also allowed myself to have even greater vibrancy, aliveness, and joy in life is to let go that I can't control other people. I can't control the state of the economy. I can't control the weather. I can't control many aspects of the life that I'm experiencing. And that goes for you too. However, what we can do and what I allow myself to do is say, again, take a breath, and you can do it with me right now if you'd love. Let it go. I don't need to use this energy to say, why are they doing this? I wish they wouldn't do this. Why is the economy like this? I feel like this is going not my way. If I let it go, that frees up so much energetic space within my mind, within my body that I can use to actually do things that I can control. And when I find myself again noticing what I'm noticing, just feeling like I'm controlling a lot of things that I cannot actually control, I've learned that I've actually been even happier in life when I say that I can't control everything, but I can control how I feel. I can control what I think, and I can control the next best action step in the next 5 minutes or in the next day that can move me toward a life that I would love living. That I can control. And when I surrender and release everything else in my life, and again, this is a practice, I feel better. And you're going to find that you feel a lot better. That when you take your eyes off of the circumstance, when you take your eyes off of and your focus off of the person you think is making you feel a certain way and you focus it back on yourself, you'll find that you're the only person that you can really control. And that's another tip that I'll highly recommend, that if you're unsure of how to surrender and release, something I often do in my own personal coaching is perspective change. Is there a book I can read? Is there a podcast I can listen to? Is there a person that I admire that I can reach out to help offer me a different perspective in order to help release whatever it is I feel like is so important that I feel like I need to control? And I find that helps a lot. And the last thing is, where are you putting your energy? Are you taking care of yourself? When I'm feeling my most lethargic, my most fearful, my most doubtful, my most anxiety ridden, I I have started asking myself even more, Nikki, have you been taking care of yourself in the ways that you would love? Are you giving yourself baths like you love? Are you putting on your favorite song and dancing to it like you love? Are you hanging with the people that uplift you and surprise and delight you like you love? Are you doing things just for you like you love? Because again, up until now, I was a workaholic and I was not happy. I was giving, giving, giving because I thought that if I pushed harder, if I was doing more for others, that I would be selfless and I would have a greater life and I would be better and la 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 la. However, when I realized that all I was doing was giving away my energy and I wasn't pulling from my overflowing cup. I was pulling from like a teeny tiny teacup of energy that I kept giving to others. And I found at the end of the day, I was so tired. I was so unfulfilled. I was so unmotivated and I was so sad with my life because I started asking myself, Nikki, what energy well are you pulling from? Are you giving back to yourself in order to pull from the abundant energy that you are deserving of and that is actually here for you? And when I was straight up and honest with myself and saying, no, I've been overworking myself too much. I haven't been dancing. I haven't been singing. I haven't been hanging out with my friends because I prioritized work. I haven't been spending time with my family because I've been prioritizing work. I haven't been doing this, that, and the other because I've been prioritizing work. Because again, up until now, I was a workaholic. And I've learned again to surrender and release that work will always be there, but I won't be. And when I learned to be selfishly unselfish, meaning I realized the more I gave back to myself with the things that actually fill my cup, like dancing, singing, having a delicious cup of tea or hot chocolate, or having my favorite, making my favorite dessert, or going out for a walk in the forest, those things fill my cup and they overfloweth. I had more energy. I have more vibrancy. I have more aliveness and joy to give to others. And when I fill my cup and joy and love and abundance overflows in my energy, in my interactions, in my creative endeavors, it gets reflected back at me with the receptivity of the other people, with the receptivity of my clients, with the receptivity of just all the inflow of great things in my life. I said, hey, wait a moment here. I started giving back to myself more and more is coming back to me. Interesting. Okay, I like this. Actually, I love this. And so that's when I asked myself in the beginning, Nikki, where are you pulling your energy from? And I highly recommend asking yourself, are you giving back to yourself? And in what ways are you filling your own cup? Because when you're pulling from an empty cup, then you're not going to be able to have aliveness. You're not going to be able to have the happiness you want because you're empty and you're pulling from an empty cup in order to serve everything else. So remind yourself to be selfishly unselfish by giving back to yourself. And to recap this whole beautiful podcast that I hope inspired and delighted you. One, let's pause. Let's just take a big old breath and sigh it out. Let's notice what we're noticing. Are the thoughts you're thinking expansive or constrictive? How is it affecting your physiology? We're going to generate our state here. We're going to tell ourselves and remind ourselves about the vision of the life we love living. We're going to come at it with gratitude. We're going to physically allow ourselves to feel that gratitude. Bring to mind a vision of something that you feel grateful for. Allow your body to feel it. Amplify this gratitude with something you're proud of and make sure you feel it as well. Encapsulate this and connect every single beautiful dot by taking an action step from this place of personal power. What action step can I take today to serve my vision? Ask yourself, are the thoughts I'm thinking torturing myself and using my imagination to torture myself? Like, what if this isn't going to work? This person did that to me. Or are they expansive? Everything's actually working out for me. I can learn a lesson from this. Okay, this isn't my favorite, but I bet you there's something here for me. Actually, everything is working out for me. And surrender, release your control over things you have no control of, and make sure that you give back to yourself in whatever way fills your cup the most. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm feeling vibrant, alive, and passionate to be here with you today. I trust, hope, and expect that you all are going to have and continue to have an amazing day with wherever and whenever you are listening to this. Make sure to book a strategy session with me if you would love to amplify your dream. If you want to know where you're at right now and some action steps on how to bridge that gap, I can help you with that. And I love helping you with that. I would love to help you with that. And until I get to talk to you again and see you guys again, may you all have a wonderful day. And I look forward to talking with you all very soon. Thank you all so much for joining me today because it is my absolute pleasure to be here with you. For those of you who'd love to take your success one step further, I've included a link down below for a complimentary strategy session with me. Here, you and I will work one-on-one to hone in on your vision for the life you'd love living and develop some steps from how to get from where you are now to where you'd love to be. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on today's content and any inspirational golden nuggets you learned from today's podcast. Be sure to give this video a 5-star review because it helps in creating even more awesome and expansive content. May your day be filled with only love and light, and I look forward to talking with you all very soon.